You know, when it comes to recovery gear and making good recoveries, not many people know as much about it as our Mark Allen. Mark learned his stuff the hard way all over Australia, and I know he's plucked a few of our readers out of the mud too from time to time. Take it away, Mark.
There are a heap of different straps, chains, hooks and shackles and recovery gear on the market, so much so that it gets a little confusing as to what each piece is called and what each piece is designed to do. Now, if you get it wrong in the heat of battle, like when you're knee deep in mud or sand, that could lead to some pretty serious injuries. Now, we're going to have a look at what each piece is called and what it does. Now, first up, we've got a snatch strap. This strap is designed to stretch 20% extra in its length. So when a recovery vehicle takes up the load over the strap from the bogged vehicle, it will actually stretch. Next up, we've got a tow strap. It's just got metal hooks at each end, and it's just used purely for towing a vehicle from point A to point B. There's no shock load involved, so it doesn't stretch, it's a fixed length. Now, this strap is a winch extension strap, and as the name implies, all it's doing is extending the length of your winch cable. It doesn't stretch, it's just a fixed length. The tree trunk protector, what we're doing here is we're trying to not damage a tree. So if we're winching off a nice big solid tree, we wrap this around the base of it so that the cable doesn't dig in and ring bark it. The equaliser strap. What we're using this for is to connect the left-hand chassis rail with the right-hand chassis rail of a bogged vehicle, so when the recovery vehicle does take off, if it's using the snatch strap, you put equal load on both sides of the car, so you're not going to damage anything underneath. The ratchet strap, it comes in two parts. One part has a little ratchet handle, the other part is a strap with a hook on the end. Now, these are only used to hold luggage down, either on your roof racks or in the back of your four-wheel drive, or even on a trailer. They're not used for recovery situations. Now, the last strap is a tie-down or cam lock strap. It's great for holding your bikes down on a trailer, but even better for holding the fridge down in the back of a four-wheel drive. Push a button, pull the strap, and it locks everything down. And again, don't use it for a recovery situation, just like the ratchet strap. It's not rated. Now, I've got the good old drag chain. Comes in a nice sturdy bucket, and the two ends of this, one's got a loop and one's got a hook. The hook will slide through that loop and hook onto any link of the chain. Now, that's perfect for dragging logs off the track. Any situation that needs this to be dragged along the ground, don't use a strap, they'll get damaged pretty easily. This is nice and strong. Now, there's two types of shackles on the market. First up, we've got a D-shackle. These are the ones you get from your local hardware store. Do not use them in a recovery situation. They're not safety rated and they can be incredibly dangerous if they break. Now, the way to remember what this one is called, turn it on its side, capital D. D for dummy if you use it in a recovery situation. Leave them at home, use them to walk the dog if you like, hook them onto their chain. So the big one is Alsatian size, this little number is Chihuahua size. Don't get them wrong or your dog will hate you. The bow shackle. These are the ones that are rated. See, they're stamped here. This one's 4.75 tonne rated. This one's 3.25 tonne rated. They're the ones you should be looking for to use in a recovery situation. Now, there's a lot of confusion about the difference between a tie-down point and a recovery hook. Tie-down points are usually supplied on the front and rear of a vehicle for when they're shipped overseas. This hook is a rated recovery hook. The spacing of the bolts here usually match up with what's on the chassis of a four-wheel drive. So the first thing you should do, check in your manufacturer's handbook, and if you've only got tie-down points, ditch them and replace them with one of these. Here we've got a snatch block, not to be confused with a snatch strap. This is actually just a big pulley. Your winch cable runs around this wheel here, and in effect it can double the pulling power of your winch, or it can change the direction of pull of the cable. Slip him open, put the cable through, close it up. This one's even got a little grease nipple in it, so you can grease it, keep it nice and free spooling. Okay, now that takes us to winching. First up, we've got the hand winch. They are pretty hard work, but the best thing about them is you can pull your bogged four-wheel drive either forwards, backwards, or even drag them sideways. They comprise of the body, the cable, which gets threaded through the body. Then you slip this handle on. It extends so you've got extra leverage. This particular unit comes with a canvas carry bag for the handle, the body, and also your winch cable. You want to try and keep that clean. Now, a much easier option of winching is the electric winch. Now, these things usually run off the 12-volt system of your four-wheel drive battery. They make light work of winching forwards generally, and this comprises of the motor at one end, the drum with the cable on it, and up this end you've got the lever that engages and disengages the clutch. You've got the control box, which can be mounted either on your bull bar or under the bonnet. The roller fair lead, it's got 4 rollers here. The cable comes through the slot, and the rollers just allow the cable to come out to the left, right, up or down, just keeps everything free spooling. The hook is attached to the end of the cable, and this short strap is called a keeper. It's just a little safety device, so when you're retracting the cable back into the winch, just keeps your fingers clear of this fair lead so you don't get them caught. Your remote control, this allows you to stand out to the side of your vehicle or even inside the vehicle, keeps you out of harm's way should something go wrong. And now we've got the four-wheel drive lift jack. They're commonly referred to as a high lift jack, and as that name suggests, they're ideal for lifting a four-wheel drive quite high so you can access underneath the vehicle to clear away debris and things that you've been caught up on. Now, I don't suggest that you use these for tyre changing because they can be a little bit unstable. A lot of uses for these things. Over here, we've got an exhaust jack. Now, the exhaust jack, some people call them a bull bag or an air jack. They're perfect for lifting a four-wheel drive up in sand. This is the actual bag. It's got a very broad base on it, so it distributes the weight evenly on the sand. They operate from the exhaust gases coming out of your tailpipe into this cone, through the tube, which then pumps this bag up and lifts your four-wheel drive up. You can then shovel sand in to fill up the holes. This kit comprises of a couple of mats for protection on top of the bag, underneath the bag so we don't pierce holes in it. Also has a carry bag to keep it all nice and tidy when you're not using it. Now, of course, when you come off the beach, you've got to pump your tyres back up, so you should carry a 12-volt air compressor. Now, a lot of these units also have extra little nozzles, so they're great for pumping up the kids' toys and air beds and things like that. This one here has quite a long coiled up air line with an air pressure gauge on it, which is pretty handy. Now, the other item you should never leave home without is a pair of gloves. These are pigskin and they're called riggers gloves. They're ideal for when you're handling the winch cable so you don't get burrs and cuts in your hands, and they're also ideal if you're the unlucky fella that gets caught digging the hole for the pit toilet. Now, no campsite should be without a good light. Here we've got a 12-volt fluorescent lamp. It's got a plug to go straight into your cigarette lighter, or you can use these clamps to go straight to your battery terminal. This unit's exactly the same, except it runs LED lights. Now, there's no one recovery kit that will suit everybody, but as a basic kit, like this one here, you should carry a couple of rated bow shackles, your gloves, and a snatch strap. Now, working your way up from there, you can carry any or all of this gear. It really depends on your situation. If you've got a winch, you'll have to take snatch blocks, winch extension straps, or any of the straps we talked about before. Little shovels, like this fold-up number, or long-handled shovels are quite ideal for digging out from under the vehicle. Really depends on what you're doing, so choose wisely before you take off. Okay, that rounds out all the recovery gear that's available on the market, what it's called and what it does. In future editions, I'm going to give you a very detailed, hands-on demonstration on how to get your vehicle out of a bog situation. Also, I'm going to touch on some tips and techniques for driving situations in all the terrain that you're likely to travel through while you're travelling around in the bush. Now, I really hope you guys have learned a thing or two here, because it's all about enjoying your four-wheel driving and camping. And remember, it's about getting dirty, not damaged.